We have covered a lot in the last 2 days, and if you're just diving into this video, you need to check out video 1 and 2 of this series first, or you're not gonna have a clue what we're talking about today. I hope you understand from the last few videos as we move into actually applying these things into building your online business, that in life, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. And I hope this is very clear. And if you deep dove into those questions from video number 2, you have a good understanding of who you are. The reason the identity piece is so crucial in starting your online business is because so many people start creating something that they think that they should. And then when they're not seeing results right away, or even if they are seeing results, they burn out fast because it's not actually aligned with what they want. It's not aligned with who they want to be. And your body knows. Your body can know the difference between living out your purpose and not living out your purpose. So it's really crucial that you understand who you are. And as an ethical business coach, if you came to me with an idea and I didn't really understand you as a person, if I just gave you all the strategy to start your business with your first idea, and we weren't clear on whether that was rooted in your identity or not and who you were actually destined to be, it would be like me taking you, putting you in a rocket ship and launching you into space. And you're going to spin and you're going to go really, really fast, but with no direction and no coordinates, you're not actually going to build something that's successful and sustainable. Emma Greed says this beautifully: success rooted in somebody else's truth will never feel like success. With that being said, all you're going to be doing is chasing the next goals. So again, check out those first 2 videos, come prepared with the identity being rooted in who you want to be, and then you will be ready to dive into these next steps. Today, we're going to talk about your story, and then we're going to use that to build your business. So who you are, what have you experienced, what problems have you overcome? Maybe you can actually take a moment to pause the video and write out everything you've lived through. Don't overthink it. Just sit there and be like, okay, I remember this happening to me in my childhood. I remember this event. Just everything that pops up is big events that shaped who you are today, that shaped how you've gotten to where you've gotten today. I just want you to write it out. And it can be things that are ingrained in society. Maybe you went and got that degree, but what did you learn? What's something that surprised you when you were in college or university getting that degree, right? That helped you get the job. What did you learn from the job that you're currently in? What did you learn you didn't like or that you do still like? These are all things that have shaped us, but they've also come with their own problems. This is the first step to understanding your customer's journey. So your customer is starting with a pain point, right? They're starting with a problem. Your future customer is struggling with something that you have already overcome. You need to build a business from your truth. You can't just start educating people and helping them with things that you have no experience in. Your experience, your knowledge, your story, that is the curriculum that you are using to help people. And don't mistake this as you're creating a course when I use the word curriculum. It can be a guide, it can be a PDF guide. If you're a mom who's had 3 kids and you've had really good sleeps, then you're naturally might want to help people that are having a hard time getting their babies to sleep. This is a struggle a lot of people face, right? That's why they have sleep training PDFs. That's why they have sleep training schedules. That's why people purchase these products. If you love food and you're a nutritionist and you want to help people with nutrition, then you're going to help somebody that's struggling. Maybe their pain point is they're having gas and they're bloated and they're struggling and they're in pain all the time. And you're like, okay, well, it's because you're missing these foods in your life. I used to feel that way too, and now I don't. I hope this is starting to make sense of where we're going with our online business. Our online business is you. It's your story. And like I said before, you don't get what you want in life, you get who you are. So when you show up with the intention of helping other people, the byproduct of helping other people and showing up to serve is going to be income. If you show up with the focus of making money, sure, you might still make some money. I did in the beginning days, but it's not going to feel good. You're going to have a lot of problems and obstacles on the way. People are going to be complaining. You're not going to be getting testimonials and reviews. And you're actually going to end up falling backwards, quitting your business, and calling it a failure. My first business did not collapse quite in that way. I was able to quickly regain control of this isn't me. And all of my past customers that had purchased from me, I brought them into my new community spaces so that they had the transformation they desired. But I've seen it time and time in this space. Mostly it's because of shitty marketing where people have they'll have viral reels go off where they're like, oh my God, you can make $20,000 a month. And it's so simple. Just create this $97 PDF. And then people dive into that and they start creating the PDF and maybe it sells and maybe they make some money, but it's garbage, right? Because they're not even creating anything from their truth. And so their customers are like, oh, well, this doesn't actually help me. And it's not sustainable. The next piece before you even create your product is understanding who you're going to help. It's some sort of variation of a past version of yourself. The version of you that was struggling with something before that's no longer struggling with that problem. If you're in the fitness niche, you were probably struggling to gain muscle or lose fat and get toned and get into your fittest body and fit into that dress size that you wanted. And now you're not. And then you educate people on the steps that are unique to you to get you there. If you look at the fitness industry right now, it's just such a good example because it is like very prevalent. A lot of people, especially coming into the new year, like that's one of the biggest goals that people have for themselves. If you look at people, they all have a different technique. They all have a different method. That is what makes you unique. And we talked about this in the last video that you are unique. Your knowledge, your experience, nobody else possesses that. So tapping into who you are and really understanding your story is going to put you ahead of other people. It's going to help you stand out. You are not here to serve everybody. I need you to hear this. If you try to talk to everybody, you end up talking to nobody. It's very important that people relate with what you're saying and they're like, oh, yeah, she's in my brain. Like there's so many mentors that I've invested in that I'm like, she literally just called out the exact thoughts I was having in my brain. You want to be able to do that by talking to somebody you know. So it's really important in this next phase to understand specific things your past self, AKA your future customer, what are they experiencing right now? What's the problem? What do they think is going to fix it? What do they not want to do? Why do they think it's not going to work? Why haven't they solved their problem, right? Like what are they doing now? What have they tried? And why haven't they been successful? Your product is the solution to what they are Googling right now. So if you're in the relationship niche and your person is struggling with having family relationships, so what are they thinking before they go to family dinners? What are the thoughts that are coming in their head? They're like hyping themselves up for the Thanksgiving dinner and they're like, oh my gosh, like my mom's going to say this and then my sister's going to do this and I'm going to react like this. Like really call that out and understand deeply where the problem is and how to support them through that. And then figure out where they spend time complaining about this problem. Before we create our product, which again is going to be from something that you've already experienced and come out on the other side, we also want to do market research. Like I also want you to understand whether or not people are going to purchase what you are going to offer, right? They have the problem, you have the solution, but we still need to understand what they want because people buy what they want and then you give them what they need. I'm going to repeat that again. People buy what they want, you give them what they need. So the front end of marketing, which we're going to just dive into just a little bit here, is that you're going to show up and provide them with everything they need to be successful because you want your customers to have the transformation. You want every single person you serve to win. Is every single person you serve going to win? Absolutely not. Because you are not responsible for their work ethic. You are not responsible for whether they're going to show up and apply what you learn. But your hope is that you're going to be there and offer them that. And you are going to have people that come into your space that just don't give it a go. That's okay. That's not your fault. As long as the majority of the people are like resonating with what you're giving, as long as you are showing up with full conviction, like you can stand behind your product because you put so much passion and you know it works because this is literally what you did to get to where you are. So market research, I find really helpful in Facebook groups. If your problem's like motherhood, for example, there's all these mom Facebook groups where moms are in there complaining about things in their life and they're a victim of this and a victim of that. Like it's literally a heyday for market research because you can literally take what they're saying out of that and be like, okay, this is the biggest problem that women are facing in motherhood of children from the age of 1 to 5. So I'm going to help them. Say you're helping them like balance their needs with self-care, like get their fittest self or just like get their pink back, you know, that you want to start that kind of a movement. Then you're going to go and look at what their biggest problems are. What are they struggling the most with in those groups? And you're going to have a bunch of different product ideas, understanding your customer's journey along the way. I'm going to tell you right now, marketing through social media is the smartest way to do it because social media is free to use. Social media is amazing because you can literally reach millions of people and for free. And all you have to do is have a phone, right? All you have to do is have a phone and talk about solving the problem that they're currently experiencing, connecting with them, showing them who you are, showing them how you help. Now let's move on to the tangible step of writing out what your business is going to be about. We're going to do your mission statement. So get out a pen and paper. Your mission statement is simple. This is like directs your business, okay? This is your mission. This is your movement. And you can like elaborate on this, but let's start with the simplest form and then build from there. I help who? Who do you help? With What? Yeah, I told you. Stupid simple. I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to read them from my computer. I help new moms rebuild their core strength and feel at home in their bodies again without spending hours at the gym or risking injury. Okay, so in that mission statement, you're highlighting what they're concerned about doing. Another way you could word this would be like, I help new moms build muscle and lose weight, feel confident in their bodies again without yo-yo dieting, cutting out carbs, or spending hours at the gym. Right? Because these are things that pop into our heads. This is how we associate pain with our goal. So we're addressing the pain point that they're going to associate with the goal in the mission statement so that we understand, like, we have compassion for where people are at. We know that they're struggling and we want to help them through that. So acknowledging that for your people in your mission statement is going to help you so much with connecting with your audience and marketing your product and building your product. Another example would be, I help college students manage anxiety and stay on top of their workload without taking medication, burning out, or giving up on having a social life. I help small business owners clean up their finances and feel confident with money without complicated software or hiring an expensive accountant. Do you see how these are all piecing together? So pause the video. I'd like you to come up with a mission statement of your own that fits with something that you've lived through and a problem that somebody is actively Googling. Like, what were you actively Googling when you had that problem, and the solution you offer, and how is that solution different? How does that solution avoid the things that they don't actually want to do? Now we're going to come up with our product. You're actually going to start creating your product. So you figured out the problem that people are facing, the problem that people are actively Googling, that they're trying to get out of right now. What is the best format to deliver the transformation, the solution to their problem in? What is the best format for your customer? And also, what is the best format for you? If it is something as simple as like sleep training your baby, you probably don't want a video format and like watching a video on YouTube about like, okay, that's the baby falling asleep, that's how it's doing. No, you probably want a simple PDF, maybe a timetable, maybe a calendar that maps out the times that you're supposed to be putting your baby to sleep. If you're doing a fitness niche, let's say you're helping the new moms lose body fat and gain muscles without yo-yo dieting and cutting out carbs and spending hours in the gym. Let's say that's your mission statement. Your first product might be an email series. It might be a 30-day email. Every day it drops in with some healthy eating tips. It drops in with a little short workout video that they can do with their baby because you know how busy they are as a new mom. And it could be something as simple as that. Or you can do a full-blown course with something like that where they enter into a platform. There's lots of different platforms that you can host your courses on. Some of them are as cheap as $7. Some of them are $150 a month. It's up to you to look into that information. And I'll give you a guide below that will help you understand what those courses look like. But you can literally create these little mini videos, and then under each video, you can give them nutritional guidance as well. You can do like a challenge. People love challenges like 30-day challenge, 15-day challenge, 60-day challenge, right? Solve that first problem. There's so many delivery formats that you can do, and it can be free to create all of these things, right? You have something like Loom where you can create videos for free. You have something like Canva where you can create beautiful looking workbooks. You can create PDFs. All of these resources are free to create your product. You can also do live workshops. If you love the energy and you want to give that energy for whatever you're teaching, maybe it makes more sense for you to do that in a live workshop where they can ask you and have Q&As. You can host Facebook groups. You can have people pay for membership into your Facebook group where you support them with one-to-one. It's so many different options of delivering your product. It just has to fit for what makes sense, obviously, for your audience, but also makes sense for you. What's your time limits like with your business? Don't try to tackle something that you've never done before. If you're like, well, I've never really recorded a video and it doesn't really make sense to help people with a video, then don't go and spend a bunch of time doing a video. Do something that's going to make the most sense for you and your customer. And then do market research throughout this entire process. Keep going into those Facebook groups and commenting and being like, man, what's the biggest struggle you're facing right now? And then make sure you're including that in your product. You're literally getting the answers of the problem that they're facing so that you can give them the solution. They're literally telling you what they need you to create, and then you're creating it for them. It's such a beautiful experience. And this is where you can dive into doing a little bit of market research on social media as well for how to market your product. But don't copy and paste what other people are doing. Do not lose your voice into the comparison game. You don't know whether people are being honest or not. You don't know if people have a successful business or not. A lot of people inflate their numbers. A lot of people act like they're having a successful business, and behind the scenes, they're broke as fuck. So do not start comparing yourself to others and being like, oh, well, their product looks like this and they're doing it marketing like this. You have to speak from your heart. You have to speak from your truth. You have to speak from your story. And if you go in with the goal of helping people every day you show up on social media, one, you can talk about your product, but before you've created your product or while you're creating the product, just talk about the problem they're facing. Give them the solution, give them wins. And I'm not talking about like educational content of like, here's 3 tips to do this. Like, yes, that's helpful, but share your story. Hey, like back in the day, I really struggled and I always thought I was allergic to celiac and dairy and all of these different food groups. And then I realized what was really going on was it was a preservative in my food. And here's how I figured out how to do that. When you do it through storytelling, people are one, they're invested in your story, but also they're invested in your result. And when they see you presenting the evidence of having the transformation, it makes them feel like it's possible for them too. I hope by the end of these 3 videos, you have a very clear understanding of who you are not, who you are, and who you want to be. And you are already taking action towards starting that online business. The next steps from here would be checking out that guide below. It's going to be your path to the first $500 online. It's going to talk about purchasing your domain. It's going to talk about using different platforms to get paid. How do you get paid? How do you set up payment platforms? What kinds of emails can you send out? How can you automate this business? It's going to break down all of the softwares and applications you can use for that as a beginner. I'm so excited that you're entering this. I'm so excited that you've chosen to step into your purpose. Remember, everything you do going forward, just make sure it aligns with who you're becoming. If I trusted that everything was going to work out, what decision would I make right now? What action would I choose to do? Don't forget to change your state when you're feeling stuck to continue working towards your goals. As always, I have an unwavering belief in your potential, and I wish you nothing but success.